What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it's time for a live stream transfer talk. Back in my regular settings after a few days away, and it was a lovely few days away. Got to say, brilliant seeing the family and just getting away from all the transfer talk. We're getting back into it today, but yeah, just nice to see friends and family that I haven't seen, as regular as I'd like to, and hopefully I'll see him again soon. But yeah, we're going to get back into this now. We're a couple of days away from the actual, July 1st hitting, which is when we expect Leeds United to do business. But I just want to get your thoughts and feelings. I'm here asking questions, getting your thoughts and feelings about things, because the comment bag was mixed from the Habib Diarra one, but there was a common thread in there which I want to get into on this video as well. Don't know why they're not showing your name. So if I don't say your name in this, it's because they're showing up like this. Maybe I need to change something, but StreamYard always jumbling things about, never helpful, but they increase the price every month. It's all mad, people. But listen, like the video as you come in, or if you're watching the replay, subscribe if you haven't already. Big up to Perry House and Russ for the super thanks on the last video, guys. Much appreciated for that. And yeah, let's talk, man. Let's talk. Yeah, I'm really good, man. I'm really good. Diarra not worth over 30 million. We could get Luiz, who would be a statement sign. I agree. And listen, and just for full clarity, I'm not going to do any coat business here and say, oh man, don't matter that we're not signing Diarra. I would have really liked him, but someone did ask me in the comments a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a week ago. Time just moves quickly now. Who would be my first two choices? And I said Douglas Luiz and Gus Harmer, and I would stick to that. But yeah, I think it's more of the way that we've lost Diarra, which is more the focal point for me in the conversation. And we're going to speak about him as well. We're going to speak about him. So, first of all, let's get into this. Ed Aaron's here, who is a very good reporter as well, by the way, did say this in regards to Diarra. That thing is done. I think I've seen pictures of him doing his medical. I think he's past that. I think it's a done deal now. So it's pretty much just waiting for Sunderland to announce it. But this is what Ed Aaron said. And as reported elsewhere, Sunderland is set to sign Senegal's Habib Diarra from Strasbourg for a club record 30 million. Understand Leeds offered to match their bid, but player preferred move to Stadium of Light. Milan and Eintracht Frankfurt, who we'll speak about later as well, were also interested. And then this came from Graham Smith, who I've got to say, the YEP do seem like they're trying to be, as they were last summer, like the Leeds United fire engine or fire service putting out fires. But this is what Graham Smith said in reply to that. Leeds valued Habib Diarra at the amount they first bid. Strasbourg held out, and Sunderland valued him a lot higher, so got the player. Both clubs could be right, but if it turns out he's exactly what Sunderland needs and get the players they need, we'll see. And then he went on about something else before. But all I'll say to that is I do feel that we did put in a second bid, and the reason why I say that is because I did a video, what was it, maybe 6 days ago, saying about we've put in a second bid. If that wasn't true, Leeds were well free to do that within the week to say, no, we have not put in a second bid. But as soon as Sunderland announced it's done and dusted, Fabrizio says it's done to Sunderland. Leeds United then, speak to Graham Smith and say, no, we didn't put in a second bid. We obviously did, but the PR will work for some people, but it doesn't fool me. We obviously did, but we've lost out. And it's one of those things for me where I look at it, and I've put a question in the poll. Why have we lost out to Sunderland? If all things being equal, with Leeds United, where if we were willing to put in the money that Sunderland have put in, but Habib Diarra is still saying I'd prefer Sunderland. Why is that? It's a fair question to ask. It's a very, very fair question to ask. And as I've said before, and some people, they don't like it, especially, certain people that look like their hard drive should be checked for indecent images, who will go up against me. It does, for me, feel like it may be the coach. Rodrigo Muniz is a well-respected coach from Ligue 1. He is. He's known to work well with younger players. He's brought on a lot of young talent, and he's got a good reputation around Europe. And you just think, the Diarra thing, that's come and gone now for me. But is this going to crop up again where, and we'll speak about another name in just a moment, are we going to get beaten to the punch again because of a coach that a player would prefer to play for? So, I mean, Chris, I know this is you, Chris. I don't even need to, the picture tells me it's you, Chris. Manager simple. Only reason he's preferred to play for Lebris, yeah. Adrian here saying, after okay, shame about Diarra, especially as he went to a club that will be fighting to stave off relegation. Hopefully, it will be more forceful with any new bids. Well, Adrian, we're also fighting to stave off relegation. Adrian, I don't know what you may have heard. I mean, even a Sunderland fan just today said to me, "What makes you think that Sunderland are the worst team in the Premier League at this point in time?" I mean, I think otherwise he's just like a pub fan where he just talks out of his ass. But if you've been promoted via the playoffs and just about, by the way, process would tell you that at this point in time, until you add more bodies to your squad, you're probably the worst team in the league at this point in time. Don't know what was so hard to understand about that. But by making signings as they're looking to make, they won't be, on paper anyway. And that's the point I was trying to make. That Mandava, always know who that is. Concerned in terms of it becoming a recurring problem. I'll be worried if it keeps happening moving forward. I do believe Labreeze played a massive part, though. I do as well. Because this, I said on the video yesterday, and shout out to all of you that went through that video. That sounded like it was from 1940s radio. Lovely. It's one of those things where, listen, I just feel in this that it won't be a recurring problem as long as we are the only or one of very few Premier League clubs going in for the player. If it's maybe us and maybe some other clubs around Europe, I think that we may be okay. But I just don't feel that we should be losing out to Sunderland. And listen, people talking about Sunderland paid more money for him. The report is literally saying that we were willing to go up to that. And I do believe the outside sources, Ed Aarons and other people that reported it, over the mouthpiece that is Graham Smith at this point in time. And that's all I'll say on that. But and there's also this as well, Diarra not worth the money he's paid. And I can agree with that. And what I will defend the club on as well is that if you don't believe a player is worth that amount of money, then don't go up to that amount. And I'm fully behind that. You've got to have a limit for the player. If you believe that he's an outstanding talent and can make the difference, then you will have to overpay. That's just the nature of the beast. But I'm all for the club not overpaying for talents that they don't feel are worth the money and then leaving us short in other areas. So I'm fully behind them in that. Yeah, no one's paying the entire fee up front. This will be paid out over installments. No one's going to get that amount fully up front. And Adrian, just clarifying here, that's what I meant. They will be stronger because of the signing, and we're in the same fight. Okay, got you, Adrian, got you. Yeah, not bothered. He's good, but there is better, cheaper, and that's why we probably didn't push it. Exactly, and that could be another point. But just saying, though, on the basis of the reports that Ed Aarons and a lot of others did say, are we going to keep on getting gazumped if we then match another club in the Premier League? Now, for me, Diarra is gone. That's done and dusted. But another one that we've been linked with, and a lot of you said, if we get Sadiki, then that does it for you because he's cheaper and could be just as good. And I agree with that. I agree. Oh, by the way, sell-on clause also an issue depending on the percent. Some people yesterday were talking about he wanted a relegation release clause in there. Guys, spoiler for you, every player that signs for every club that's in near the bottom half of the Premier League, including the promoted teams, will have relegation release clauses. What the club said is that we're not going to have loan relegation clauses anymore, which makes sense because nobody did that before Leeds United. We were the only suckers that did that before. But everybody who signs for this club, who will sign for Sunderland, will have relegation release clauses. It protects both the player and the club. Simple business. Just going to say that there. But yeah, Brentford are entered the Noah Sadiki race. And this is the thing. Now, what should go in our favor here is that, listen, with all due respect to Keith Andrews, I got to say, man, Brentford are getting away with this. If Leeds United had appointed a set piece coach as our first team coach, they wouldn't shut up about it. Yeah, they wouldn't shut up about it. But Brentford, because they've got a good, history, they've got a good process standard for what they've done recently. People are like, okay, let's see where this goes. But we would never be able to get away with that. But surely, if it's a choice between Brentford and Leeds on the basis of a coach, then surely Danny Farke wins that one, right? But then does that then go to Brentford, are more established now in the Premier League than Leeds United? Does he go for that stability over the potential unknown of Leeds United? Just don't know anymore. Yeah, Gavin, Sadiki, you want to play for Keith Andrews. Tremendous. You think Spurs, Man United are going to have relegation release clauses? I know you tried to be funny there, but you just made yourself look silly, JJ. And you've been here long enough. They will have clauses in their contracts, whether it be relegation or not. They will have clauses that say if a certain club in the Champions League can bid for them, they can get them at a certain amount. and etc. etc. There are all kinds of clauses in contracts. Listen, you guys wouldn't be able to handle it in La Liga because every single player in La Liga has a clause in their contract. So there you go. What's it? Keith saying here? It's not missing out on Diarra. It's are we going to negotiate too much and lose out? Yeah, the time of doing deals, Keith, is definitely a point as well. But again, if it takes time for him to get to know the player, the character, and everything else, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, absolutely. But it's just if we're going to be haggling over prices too much, and then we see a team just actually just get the thing done, then that set us back. What? How long have we been linked with Diarra for? It feels like a few weeks, right? It's just going to set us back in that time frame. So yeah, the speed of it would be nice. Also, the kits. I mean, on another note, the kits still haven't been, officially released. Seen a few of the leaks. That black one looks good. Got to say, I would be getting that one. But yeah, we just need to do something with a bit more pace. And what I will say, though, we're on the 29th of June, but we have seen clubs do deals. Martin Batterina being one, who will be signing on the 1st of July. And it would have been nice to see some of those just, in the last week or so. Am I concerned at this point? And this is what I want to ask you guys now with Brentford getting in the race for Noah Sadiki as we get to this point of it. I'm not concerned completely. I'm not. But what I would like to see is a little bit more action going out as well. We talked about Illan Meslier possibly leaving, and then that was debunked, and things like that. But we still haven't seen any movement as well from any whispers about Bamford leaving, Harrison, and at this point now again Meslier. And it's one of those where if we are starting the season with these kind of players in the squad, then we deserve to finish where we finish. Yeah, but I just want to know, are they being aggressive with these players to say, you've got no future here? I mean, we've even spoken about, or I put out on the video about Brendan Aronson's latest comments about him wanting to prove people wrong. I mean, that's all well and good, but if you can upgrade in that position, like Leeds United, I believe, could, then it should be the club saying, listen, Brendan, you want to prove yourself here, but, we've got a nice bid for you coming in. We want you to explore that. But I don't think like anything like that's going to happen. I don't. And it does make it, that is cause for concern at this point in time. As I speak to you anyway, on the 29th of June, that's a cause of concern. But we've still got plenty of time to get people moved out. But I would like some of these players gone by the start of pre-season. Yeah, very quiet on the deadwood. Yeah, I mean, and as I've said before, we've been promoted since, what was it, the 21st of April? 21st of April. We're now like over 2 months, past that. And we've done very little. Biol is an excellent signing, and the club have made know that with the milking the Biol content daily. Mecha is not a good signing for me. That's someone that we're hoping comes good, and I hope he does with everything in my being. So we haven't done too much at this point to make ourselves a solid Premier League team at this point in time. And it just seems like other people are moving at a better pace. And, Keith Downey staying on Sunderland because we have to keep an eye on teams around us. This was after the Diarra thing. Expect a few more in the door like this for Sunderland this summer. Talks taking place over multiple players with the spine of the team set to be improved to compete on the Premier League level. We'll see when they actually get those players in. Sunderland planning to have a go in a bid to stay up, but if they do go back down, they'll still be very strong. Bolker close to a switch, plus a high-level centre-back, another central midfielder, and a striker among priorities. But what I will say about Bolker is that it seems that a newly promoted Saudi club seems to be ahead of them in the race, and that's from GFFN. They've reached an agreement with Nice over the transfer of Bolker. However, Sunderland are still pushing to sign the goalkeeper, so they haven't gone away. Sunderland are still trying to get that goalkeeper, and they get that goalkeeper, they're automatically better than us in goal. I mean, they probably are already with Patterson if we're being honest, but. Yeah, let me get this super chat in from Bobby. Shout out to you. Feels like the manager factor. Also, Reggie Lebris is going to be more of attractive to play under, especially players coming from France. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. In terms of players coming from League 1, they know Reggie Lebris. They know what he is about. You know what I mean? So that's not too much of a surprise for me in that sense. But yeah, thank you, Bobby. Chris saying the club's recruitment so far has been nothing short of diabolical. Now, I like Biol, Chris. I do, but we need more Biols. You know what I mean? We need more Biols, less Metchers, in my opinion, if we're going to have any chance of staying up. But Am I concerned at the pace? Just slightly, because we're 2 days away, and I do feel like we could have had a couple announced for July 1st and maybe a sale or two. But this club hasn't been very good where it wants to move out players. It's usually good when we're trying to keep players and we have to sell them for a good fee under the 49ers. But we've never been good with trying to get out deadwood for the longest time, even predating the 49ers. Yeah, Labries probably signed all the gems in Ligue 1 to make Sunderland a French team. Well, not a French team, but yeah, I see what you mean. A Ligue 1. Yeah, see, but that's how Bournemouth did it. And again, going back to Bournemouth when they sacked Gary O'Neill and brought in Iriola, that's one of the reasons why they sacked him, just purely on the basis that Iriola's a better coach anyway, but also the attractiveness to getting players to come in through the door. And you saw who Bournemouth signed that summer once Iriola was announced. It was like, wow, they're going to Bournemouth. Like, you're never going to get Ivan Nilsson going to Bournemouth if O'Neill was there. That's just not happening. You know what I mean? So it is one of those where the coaches do matter, and I've spoken to players. Players will tell you coaches do matter, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get gazumped every time. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't carry on a pattern. Scott here saying here, I'm just gonna assume your name's Scott. I don't know why the names are showing up like this, man. The fact Leeds aren't actively trying to get rid of deadwood like Bamford and Meslier ASAP is worrying within itself. Yeah, and the thing is, people then say it's always quiet from the club side, and that is true. It's always quiet from the 49ers side, but what it's never quiet from is from agent side and from the club offered side. So if let's just say we're trying to offer Bamford to Sunderland, it would have been leaked from the Sunderland press side that Leeds United have tried to offer Bamford to Sunderland, but we're not hearing any of this. You know what I mean? The closest thing we've got is Bamford to Wrexham, which I don't think is going to happen. And also then Meslier to Fenerbahce, which it doesn't seem that's going to happen either. So it's one of those where Harrison, MLS interest, where's the latest link to an MLS team for Jack Harrison? Are we going to be, playing some of these players? Because if that's the case, we're doomed. Sorry to say it, and people, it's not being a doom monger. It's just saying facts. We're not going to stay up playing the bulk of the players that we've still got in the squad. We're just not. And I feel like you're living in cuckoo land if you do believe that we are. We cannot start the season with Meslier in goal. That should be simple, right? It should be simple. Genghis Khan, are we saving Deadwood to keep us warm in the championship next season? That can't be it. That can't be it. MH here saying July 1st is the new fiscal year. It's been known this is when we kick it together. Yeah, and absolutely. Listen, July 1st could come and we could announce 2 new players. But what I'm saying in that regard, MH, is that I've literally seen other clubs signing players and do the whole media thing that they love to do, the shirt up and interviews with the players, but they're not actually signing until July 1st. And I just feel that maybe we could have done that, or maybe we're having to look at who goes out first before we can even approach that and see who we are able to bring in. Because if Brendan Aronson is steadfast of saying, I helped you get up and I want my shot in the Premier League again, how are we going to move him? How are we going to move Brendan Aronson unless he's willing to leave? And also, if another club is willing to pay the money that Leeds United want for Brendan Aronson to begin with, it's going to be really interesting. Really interesting. Yeah, Peter here saying homework on players' character, upward trajectory, personality, worth ethic should all been done a long time ago. I agree. So I'm hoping we do have a list and we'll be triggered by at least 3 by Monday. Yeah, me too, Peter. And listen, the list has to be good in terms of that. Diarra is a blow to lose out on, but now they all have to be of a similar level or better. And maybe that comes with Douglas Luiz, who we've been relinked with again. All I'll say, though, is that I saw a report that Manchester United may try and make a move after the 1st of July. So again, if Douglas Luiz has an offer from Leeds United and Manchester United, it doesn't matter what you think of Man United, they are still Man United. That's the reason why they're able to possibly get Mbeumo over Tottenham at this point in time. Even though Tottenham are in the Champions League, he's got his old manager there. It's still Man United. There's still a draw, and they can still pay way over what we can pay per week for a player. And if Man United going for Douglas Luiz, that one might be a shot. Again, though, Douglas Luiz is someone who is a statement signing for me, and I would love Leeds United to get him. He does a lot of things. He just does everything for me. He can get up and down. He's brilliant on the ball, set piece taker, good for a long range goal as well, which I'd love to see again at this football club. But yeah, it's one of those where we have to look out for other clubs going in for Douglas Luiz. Juventus making him available. It's obvious other teams were going to be in this deal, but we need to romance this guy almost and say, this is what we're trying to build at Leeds. We see you being a part of it. This is where you improve us. Come along. Because Sunderland have done it with Diarra in the space of a couple of days. Contract signed, terms agreed, everything done. It's all been done. It shouldn't be that hard of a sell for players to then come to Leeds United when it's not that hard of a sell for them to go Sunderland. And that's my main point of the whole video, to be fair. Renee here saying, do not think the 49ers are ready to take a loss on Aronson yet. I mean, if they're going to sell him at any point, they're going to have to take a loss because we are not getting 25 million back for Brendan. I'd be amazed if that happens. And if they do, they are the best negotiators on the planet because we overpaid for Brendan by a country mile. You know, he should never have cost 25 million pounds ever. He's not a 25 million pound player. But if they're looking to improve that area completely, they would have to let him go. They have to let him go. They have to look for a buyer. And, you know, I don't know. What's the best case scenario? 15 million and then add-ons to get it up to 20, maybe? I don't know. I'm not the bean counter. I'm not doing the books. That's for the club to get right. That's for them to get right. But again, they've had since the 21st of April to do all this stuff. Yeah, I know. Douglas Luiz is literally a player that helped get Aston Villa up the table. A key part of that, by the way. A key part of getting them up to the Champions League. It's crazy, and it's crazy. But then say Sean Longstaff, who does nothing with the ball, is the be-all and end-all. Crazy stuff. Let's have a look. Chris here saying Luiz has been sat on the bench for 12 months. On loan would mitigate the risk of him not finding his old form. Yeah, it's got, for me, yeah, Chris, it's got to be something low risk. And I think it said in one of the reports anyway that Juventus are open to that they are willing to loan him out with a view to a permanent move. And of course, that would be perfect because then we can kick that can down the road and then improve another area with immediate effect. That would be the perfect scenario for me as well, Chris. Yeah, and that's the point as well, Ian. We won't be selling Aronson, Farke likes it, and you do have to factor that as well. So there you go. Man said Aronson will sell easily for $10. Tremendous. So yeah, look out for Douglas Luiz in that. Someone else who we've been linked with as well, also from League Earn, is Himad Abdelli. Sorry, hold on a minute here. Let me just get the. Yeah, Himad Abdelli of Angers. Sasha Tavaliri put in this. This was after the whole Diarra thing. Alongside Leeds United is interested in Himad Abdelli. Torino, Trabzonspor are also looking to make an offer for the Angers midfielder. And again, see, if you get someone like this guy, I'm all for it, man. This guy is a smooth operator. If you ever seen him play, he's one of those. I'm not going to, compare him to Luiz and Abdelli, but he's very tough to get the ball off. Very good at carrying the ball along on the pitch. Will definitely push you up the field of play. Good for a goal as well. Well, he had his best goal return probably this past season with Angers. And again, if you're looking for this kind of player, I am all for it. But it's about, are we going to get the deal done? Apparently, this is going to be around, 10 or 12 million? I'm sure. Guys, I've been away for a few days, so I'm trying to remember bits and pieces here and there. So if I miss out a detail, forgive me. All right? Forgive me. Yeah, Jay Ray said, if we get Longstaff, we may as well get on and for sure about. Yeah, heat map merchants, man, but don't do nothing with the ball. And listen, it's not that I hate Sean Longstaff, but what I always find is when I ask people, what does he do with the ball? What does he do with the ball that's good? No one can ever answer that question. They'll tell you he covers ground and everything else like that, but they can't tell you what he does with the ball because he can't do anything with the ball. I've watched him play. He's not a good passer. He's not a good shooter. He's barely a passable tackler. He's just good for energy. So if that's what you're looking for, cool. But if you're looking for someone to do something with the ball, he's not it. Simple as that. Jason here saying, whoever comes in, we just need to get behind them. Let's see what the squad is come the first game. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, of course. Anyone who signs will get the backing, even a Longstaff. Yeah, but it's one of those where we should be in a. By the time the first game comes, Jason, we should have a much stronger spine than we currently do now. Is that fair to say? And guys, what I will say as well, if you don't enjoy these kind of streams, we'll be talking about the makeup of the team. If you're waiting for actual signings to come in, just wait to show up to those shows because people like make comments about, well, we don't know who's going to be here. But that's the whole point of this, you know, conversations about the team, who needs to go, who would you like to come in. It's the fun part of football, people. Ian saying here, Longstaff isn't that bad. If he's called Long Distaffio, people would be excited. Ian, I'm looking for you now in the chat. Tell me, or if you can remember a game of where Longstaff was influential to the max, let me know and I will go and look it up. And I'll do that for you, Ian. But I've seen him play for Newcastle when he gets opportunities to play, and he's nothing special. But yeah, I'm not going to mention Longstaff again until, you know, if we ever get a deal agreed with Newcastle, which I just hope doesn't happen. Yeah. Let's have a look here. What we got here? So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this Abdelli link and see what else is happening. Rodrigo Muniz is another one that just keeps on going on. But people, let me know if there's an actual update to this one, because this is the last one I saw. But this is from Sky, but it's also from other sources as well. But Fulham aren't going to be letting go of Muniz this summer. He remains an important part of Marco Silva's squad, because there's not only interest from us, it's also interest from Tottenham as well. And you've got to think, if Muniz wanted to push for a move, it would probably be Tottenham, where he'd get more of an opportunity to play. And they've also got Champions League, and he gets to stay in London as well. But it sounds by all accounts that he's happy to stay at Fulham too. So is this the last? If this isn't the last update, please let me know. But from what I've read, the Muniz thing could be over, and we may have to look elsewhere in terms of getting a striker. I know this one seemingly was Leeds United's #1 target, but we may have to look elsewhere now. Yeah, we got Longstaff is rubbish, but then we got Longstaff is okay for the squad, but for only 8 million. There we go. Love it. See, put up every kind of opinion there. I hope not, Richard. Lost faith with players coming in. We'll probably end up with championship players. Yeah, no, listen, and this is the other thing as well. People talking about Diarra choosing Sunderland. Guys, there's going to be competition for the better players, or players that can take you to the next level. If you've got a free run at a player, that's not always a good thing. You know, there's like, why have we, you know, why have we got a free run at this player? There's always going to be competition. The only thing that you can hope is that they're going to choose you overall. That's what it takes. It's going to take overpaying sometimes. It's going to take paying them a little bit more money than you're probably comfortable with at times. That's what it's going to happen. The only players that will be willing to come are players probably from the Championship, who would see Leeds United as a great vehicle to showcase their talents in the Premier League. And that's not what you want. That's not what you want at the football club. You're going to have to be competitive with these teams, whether it be Sunderland, Brentford, or anyone else, and compete for signatures. That's the name of the game, I'm afraid. Tony, everything's great at AUW. Is the Fulham owner. There's always a chance. Craig here saying, Farke has been a disaster in the Prem, so why would anyone want to play for him? Hope I'm wrong, but I don't see Farke surviving 10 matches, but that would be in us big trouble. Worried. What I'm going to say with this as well, Craig, you don't make an incorrect point here, but let me just more Red Bull to put towards a transfer kitty. What I will say is, if this goes wrongly for Farke with this current squad, I'm not putting it on him. I'm not putting a single thing of it on him. This is on the club to give him the squad that he needs to overperform. Because for me, I've already said it. I've made my thoughts and feelings clear on Farke. I don't think he's a great coach. I think when it comes to being a front runner, like in the Championship, I think he's the probably one of the best people for the job. But if you're talking about out and out coaching, I don't think he's great. But if the club don't equip him with players that can make him achieve at least the goal of finishing 17th, I'm not putting it on Daniel Farke at this point. I can't. Unless Farke is the one that's come out and said, I want to keep Meslier, Aronson, Bamford, then yes, that's on him. But I also then still have to look at the club and say, you should know this isn't going to work. You need to be more forceful and say, well, that's not happening, Daniel. We're moving them out. You can work with these players. Otherwise, we'll go for someone else. I'm sorry, but you know, there has to be conversation like this. But if we go into the season with an underdeveloped squad, I can't put that on Daniel Farke. I mean, and who rightly can? I mean, I know Chris King will put it on Farke, but if the club haven't equipped him with the correct signings, it can't be on the coach for me. It could only be on the coach if we get him absolute ballers in the team and he's unable to make it work. That's the only thing I would say. Yeah, exactly. Even the most ignorant of owners will know you have to give Farke what he needs. Precisely, Ryan. And I'm with you 100% on that. SB saying here, frustrating so far, but the club shouted from the rooftops about their 100 million war chest, so they must have plans to spend it. July would be huge. Well, I don't know if they actually did shout that, SB. I think that was more like the financial guy and local reporters saying that we're going to have this much to spend. They've never come out and said that. No ownership in their right mind will come out and say we have this much to spend, because that's just foolishness. If you tell everybody how much you got to spend and you go for a player, they're going to go, well, we know you got this to spend. We want this much of your budget. It doesn't work like that. No one knows how much we've got to spend in total. The only time we will know is come the end of the window and what we've got. That's the only time. But yeah, listen, we're still kind of early, but yeah, I would like a couple more, man. A couple more. Michael is saying a bagsman's going to be crucial. Need goals to stay up. Yeah, staying on the strikers or slash forwards. Let me just go on to the next one that we were loosely linked with. Again from Ed Aarons. Gotta say, I don't want any parts of Timothy Weir, so I hope this one goes. I know he's recently rejected a move to Forest. Guess some people will be saying, why would he reject Forest if they're in Europe? But maybe he didn't see his role big there with them having players like Elanga, Hudson-Odoi there in front of him, or even if he wants to play up front, Chris Wood at this point in time. But yeah, Timothy Weir is not someone I would want Leeds United to invest in. I don't think he's that good. I think he, with all due respect, I think he's probably living off the Weir name, if anything. So yeah, DCL's he's free now, so I'm sure we'll be seeing that one as well. Skippy here. At the moment, I'm more concerned about a lack of outgoing players who should not be here anymore. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Also, as well, what I want to say, someone who I wanted Leeds United to have an eye on this summer, or at least be in the conversation for, is USG's Franjo Ivanovic, Croatian international striker. It looks like Frankfurt are going to, go for him if they lose Etike. German clubs already in talks with a player's agent in that perspective, one to watch. He would have been absolutely perfect, man. We all spoke about Promise David before, but he was my number one from that football club. Just an absolute, just in the box buzzard. You know what I mean? And the tuck shot would be open with this player. But if it's not going to be him, if it's not going to be Rodrigo Muniz, who is it going to be? Don't joke about that. Don't joke about that, man. But yeah, so Ivanovic, again, one of mine off my wish list. Looks like he's going to Champions League, Frankfurt, if they do sell Etike. Okay, what else have we got? Let me just see the poll, because I'm not going to forget this time. I've put the poll right at the end, people, so I won't forget. And I'm going to do that in future now. So look. Oh man. Right. Okay. Let me just end this now. So I think we're coming to the end of this one. Callum Wendo would be a statement sign up top. Yeah, again, Chris would love to get Callum Wendo, especially now. I mean, I would love to have got him before, but he's improved since then. He would be a statement sign up top. You're absolutely correct. But haven't seen any links since, what was it, about a month ago when we was last loosely linked with him. Haven't seen anything since. So and Ian here saying, to be fair, under Maraf, Asana has been pretty good. Ampadu, Solomon, Rothwell, Tanaka got to trust the process. Absolutely, Ian. And I'm with you on that one. Overall, the 49ers have batted pretty close to 100% for me where it comes to signings. Whether they've worked out or not, I've seen the intent behind them. But what we've just got to be careful of is that we do have improvements to make in key areas. And if we're not going to get those done soon, we will be left behind in certain areas, and we will keep on losing targets as they keep moving on. So that's all I would say. But Ian's absolutely right. For me, overall, the 49ers have done good work. But again, you did it at championship level. This is a whole new level now. This is the Premier League. This is a whole new kettle of fish that we're dealing with. So yeah, let me end this poll here, man, and then we'll end the stream. And like I say, put in your thoughts and feelings in the comments afterwards. Make them sensible. Had to remove a few people. Here's what it is. People talk tough on the internet, but when they see me in person, it's all love, as it always is, people. But yeah, our Leeds moving too slow. Yes, we were probably 2 months ago, 41%. No, I'm waiting for July 1st onwards, 39%, and no in general, 19%. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, it's fairly close, I would say. But yeah, I guess people are waiting for 1st of July just to see where we're going going forward. Ryan here, just to end it. Do you think we make a wow signing? I do, Ryan. I hope so. I hope we do. Yeah. And for me, a wow signing in a club in our position is a Douglas Luiz kind of signing. Some of you did ask about Noah Lang. I would have said Noah Lang before, but it looks like he's going Napoli. Caspadino telling me to check Fab's newest tweet. Okay, while I'm live, let me do that then while I'm live. All right. Okay. Well, let's put it up. Okay. So this is another one we were linked with. Stay with me, people. I'm not going anywhere just yet. Hold on. Fab. Okay. Oh no, I don't need his bio. I need your social media, Fab. Where are you? Okay. Hold on a minute, people. Wow. So this was another one that we were linked with. If you recall, I put this out on a video. You know what, man? Everything's weeks ago to me now. All right, time's going too quick. All right, but remember Reinildo from Atletico Madrid, who would have been a free. He's a left back, can play centre back. Well, it looks like Sunderland have got him on a 2-year deal. So Sunderland are definitely moving along nicely, and it just seems with things like this, I didn't even know they were in for him. And even like that report I did, I don't think I mentioned Sunderland's name, but it just seems to be that they're getting in for a player, getting their interest in, and getting a deal done, which is the correct way to do it instead of spending 7 days to do it. But yeah, and I listen, I completely agree with this, by the way, Carl here. This is why I wanted Sheffield United to win the final. They would not be this ambitious. I could not agree with you more. I wanted them to go up for that very same reason, because we've seen what Sheffield United's ambitions like, and they wouldn't be moving like this. But there was always that scope with Sunderland, because they are a big club, and also people as well with Sunderland, they still have that little bit of notoriety as well off the Netflix series. You know, that's how they've got their name out there a bit more. People know them from the Netflix stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is again, I said at the time on the video, so I'm not going to backtrack from that. As a free transfer, as a squad player, this would have been really nice to have, especially for his experience and versatility. But yeah, he's going Sunderland. So there you go. And thank you, Caspadino, for pointing that one out, man. Yeah, wow. Wow. Cool. But it's not over for us, man. It's not over for us. I know recently there's been a report about PSV after Gus Harmer. What I'm hoping with that, people, is that is just agent talk for Leeds United to get a move on. You know how things like that happen. I really do, because like I say, my two in midfield preferential signings from what we've been linked with so far would be Douglas Luiz and Gus Harmer. I think that would be a really nice mix to what we've already got. But again, I mean, we're talking sales. Are we not selling? I don't know if he's for sale, but Gruev, is he staying? Like, is he staying in the Prem? But we shall see. We shall see. All bloods have. I'll make sure my partner don't see this one. It's Sean Bean and When Saturday Comes film from 30 years ago. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Ryan, if Sunderland announce Muniz and Tagliafico next week, I'm going to highlight. Exactly. I mentioned that in a video. Tagliafico, who we've been linked with before, he's going to be 33 when the season starts. That is good experience. He's free. Get it done. Leon are in dire straits. You know, they could easily win their appeal, but while they're in the process of appeal, go grab him. Go get him for this squad. Tagliafico at left back would be lovely to have, and you wouldn't even feel the loss of Firpo in that way. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see, man. Chris is saying, I said 2 months ago we need to be better than the two of the existing Premier League teams if Sunderland come up with us, as they will not go back down. I stand by it. They're moving nice. They're moving nicely, Chris. I'm not going to lie. I'm not hating on it. You know me. I'm a football man. I'm not just going to say because a player's gone elsewhere, I didn't want him anyway. That's sucker talk. They're doing some good business so far. What is our true situation with PSR? We're waiting for the new period to start in July 1st. Unless we make some big sales before, we can't really do that much business. I mean, where's the Pashao link gone? That's gone really quiet. Where has that gone? We're going into the season with Gruev on the bench. We are in big trouble, and Chris made sure to put that big in capitals. And I don't disagree with you, Chris. I do not disagree with you. But yeah, listen, it's not the be all and end all. I'm not going to lose my head over this. But Leeds United, please, 49ers, everyone, let's put some gears in motion, man. Let's get some deals in the works. Because if I see another BO piece as well from the official account, I might scream in my house. I don't want to see no more BO stuff. Who's going to help BO? Who's going to make sure BO doesn't have so much defending to do in the game? Who's going to be in front of him, being the engine in midfield? You've got to get this kind of stuff done. Parag in a coma. Tremendous. Oh, that's funny. That popped me. As Jason says, don't forget to smash like, please. Yeah, please do that for us, please. And just, I said I was going to end it about 10 minutes ago, didn't I? But yeah, you guys are cooking with the comments lately. Tuesday is a massive day for us. Let's see if the 49ers put the money where their mouth is. Yeah. And listen, it doesn't mean that I'm expecting someone to come in the door on July 1st, but I want them to. Is that wrong? And if that is wrong, I don't want to be right. You know, one of those. Selling Job was massive for them. Yeah, it was absolutely huge for them. Of course it was. But in that sense as well, they did sign Enzo Lefebvre, I think, before they sold Job. So that was already going to be accounted for. I guess they would have already known they would have had to sign him if they got promoted and Enzo agreed to go, which he clearly has. He's now a Sunderland player. But then they've obviously put out 30 million for Habib. And even on free transfers, this to Sunderland, there's going to be agent fees, signing on fees, everything else that comes with free signings. But yeah, they're getting stuff done. But yeah, send all our junk to Rangers. Yeah. But guys, I'm going to leave it there before any more news pops up. But listen, thank you for joining me on this Sunday. Good to be back. Like the video before you go and drop your thoughts on anything discussed in the video below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.